All right, here it is, episode 3. About a month into this, still haven't quit yet.
Yeah, episode 3. I was gonna say it's
And
nuts. Room sound for
no, I'm having fun. I'm having fun doing it.
Oh,
If you haven't noticed by now,
100%.
he's over here. We do have a guest, Zero Maverick,
Yeah, Sean.
goes by the name of Sean.
Welcome, buddy.
Real cool cat. Obviously, as you can tell by his shirt. You want to?
Oh yeah.
I'm actually a cool carp.
He's a cool carp.
You get because it's a magic carp.
I sit corrected. Oop.
Sorry, just had big punny there.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. So, he's actually big in the speedrunning community. He plays a lot of Mario or Mario Maker. Obviously, a lot of retro stuff, as you can see by his nice setup back there. And yeah, how do you do it?
How do I do what?
Like, how do you
that?
just
So
sit there?
technically,
I need to know, like, how do you like can just restart on Mario, because Mario is a platformer, right?
Well, I guess generally, like, my
Yeah.
question for you, Sean, right? Like, you've been doing this for
Well,
a while.
let's. Well, we already have one question, Zach. Hold on. I'll answer 2-bit gems, and we'll get to yours. So I think skateboarding is sort of it, because skateboarding was literally like the same thing. It was messing up over and over and over again until you do the right thing. I feel like I was just like numb to it. So, and I mean, I will also say, you said I'm big in the speedrunning community. While I started off speedrunning, I guess now I'm more technically in the Kaizo community.
Okay.
But both Kaizo and speedrunning sort of just like, to me, the root of it was all patience that I had from screwing up skateboarding.
Okay.
So that's or learning skateboarding.
Well, see, now that actually, I like this guy even more now. See, skateboarded. I don't know if you knew this, but I was a avid skateboarder as well. Actually, my early
Oh,
teenage
nice.
years. I did that for about 6-7 years.
Is it safe to say I did?
Broke about 7. I've broken 7 total bones skateboarding. It's pretty bad actually, but I know I love it, and that's a good analogy. You just get back up. You keep trying those tricks over and over again. You're never going to get it the first time or the second time. You just keep practicing. You got to visualize. You got to visualize that finish line, and sometimes that's hard to do. And that was a great analogy.
Like, I don't know. When I skateboard, I really did it once, I think, when I was a kid. And I remember falling off, and I'm just like, bruh, like, this isn't me. I'm scared of it.
I think the goot shots were the worst. You go to do the kick flips, and the board stands straight up, but you're coming down anyways.
Right.
That's don't get credit card checked, and you're good.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, no, I've never heard of that one. Credit cards.
That's
credit card check when the board goes up your ass. You get violated by a piece of plywood that has.
Do you ever remember watching a show called Scarred on MTV?
Oh, I never watched that, but I know what it is. Yeah, I refuse. That kind of stuff is too much for me.
It was there was a lad on there, and he hit a stair set board. He pogoed on the board and split himself open. It was bad. Like, it was bad. He's holding a nutsack in his hand. He's like, oh, it's out, and everyone's all freaking out. I can't believe they actually aired that, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty gross. But I mean, it was MTV, so they'll air almost anything, really.
Yeah, not anything but music. Anything but music at this point.
Anything but music at this point, and man, like that's what sucks, So because we have to kind of just live through the memories as we grew up, because you watch the transition now. It's like, some things are just sad. Miss the old times.
I really do. So, like, I guess my biggest point, like, the question for that, like, what did you not? I mean, I'm assuming when you first started skateboarding, right, Sean? Just be honest. What's the most brutal, like, memory you could have of skateboarding, where, like, you really, like, just looked at yourself and you're like, man, I don't know why I'm doing this. I really fucking busted my shit. Like, just being
actually, I never broke arms or like anything like that skateboarding. I think the worst that ever happened is I bloodied my chin.
Okay.
It was legit. I was just like doing a flat ground trick. I don't remember what it was specifically, but I was just like doing a flat ground trick, and
If Tony Hawk came
I
up to you right
basically
now, could you do a
huh?
kickflip? If Tony Hawk came up to you right now on the streets, gave you a board, said do a kickflip, could you do the kickflip?
I'd have to do it switch, but yeah.
Dude,
I can like it's weird. I can only do specific things switch. Like I can technically kickflip, so I'm goofy, but my normal kickflips like goofy are awful.
All right.
But for some
really
reason,
weird.
when I do them regular, it's easier. But like I can heel flip really well goofy.
Yeah, you know what?
And I can't frontside flip, but I can switch frontside flip.
Okay. You know what?
That like that's
very
how it
similar
always was.
to my style. I have a very weird style. It's half Mongo, half goofy. No, it's half Mongo, half regular. Because I have my flip tricks can only be done in switch while moving. I I have very terrible balance. Although I can drop in on a half pipe, a quarter pipe. That took some face plants learning that, Just lean forward, step on them trucks, step on the bolts, lean forward and let it go. But, they didn't tell me that at first. And like I don't know what it was. I just have this weird it's just a weird style of flat ground and even moving. It was always like a switch. I had to move forward on top on the board instead of in the back. And I don't know why. I think it was like a mental thing. I was scared for some reason. I don't know if I was scared of like falling backwards. I'd rather fall forward than backwards. So I think that's kind of what it was. But it did make me a very unique skater. I did kick some of my friends' asses quite a bit in skate just because they couldn't do a switch.
Yeah.
So respect,
I think
respect.
You go, continue.
Well,
So Zach, how come you never like? I never. I mean, we kind of grew up together. How come you really see you on a bike or anything? Like, what was
I used to bike and everything when I was younger. I just like, for me, like, I was just more like just running around, just playing games outside or just playing video games inside. Like, I never really got like into skateboarding. I tried it once, and like I said, like I busted my shit really hard. Like I scraped up my elbows, and I ended up crying to my mom about it. This shit hurt, man. I was like, bro, I don't know how you guys do it. Because, like, you always see, like, Tony Hawk, you play, like, the PlayStation games or whatever. Like, you see them do it. It's like, oh, yeah, I want to try that. And, like, you go and try it, right? It don't always work that way, right? So you get on that skateboard, you're, like, trying to push off, try to do a fucking ollie, right? And that don't work, dude, because you fly off your skateboard and it flies in front of you. You smash your elbows and you're just, like, kind of looking up at Jesus. You're like, why? Like, why even try this, you know?
Like, what am
you
I
have
doing
to learn
myself?
how to fall, though. That's the
Yeah.
most important thing about skateboarding is
Yeah.
understanding that the worst thing you really can do is put out your hands, because that's where it gets bad. That's where you can break your finger, your wrist, stuff like that. You legit have to learn how to like tuck and roll
Oh,
a
it's
lot of the
weird, too.
times, and that's one of the hardest things probably.
I'm so glad he brought this up. Look, all right. So, not very many people know this, but I have snapped my arm in half. I have a nice gnarly scar there, and it is exactly how Zero Maverick had described. You got to learn how to fall, and yeah, it was a pretty mean laceration. I had a bone splinter sticking out. It's yeah, I lost a few degrees there. I was going face first, and it was a pretty high platform. And well, instinctively, you're going to protect your face. Oh, don't do it. Like you gotta. I went straight out. I was kind of at an angle, and I just instinctively put my arm out, and it was hyperextended already. And as I fell, it snapped, and I high-fived the back of my shoulder blade. Flat palmed it. Yeah, rolled over, and I seen bone sticking out. Blood was gushing. Yeah.
I can definitely imagine that's like a thing for me. Like, I don't know, it's weird because like when my dad has mini bike, right, or like quads, like I would ride those things. But when it came to like a skateboard, right, I just always had that fear of like falling again after I hit myself the first time. I really messed up my elbows. Um, I just never really got into skateboarding as much as I did with like quadding or like dirt biking or whatever. It's completely different.
didn't have that luxury.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know. It's weird, right? Like you think people would be more afraid of like a motorized vehicle than a skateboard.
Honestly, try going downhill on fucking skateboard. Just the fear of road rash alone.
Oh, that is so fun,
Speed
dude. I have a
wobbles.
longboard. I have a longboard that a buddy gave me, and I need to like go freaking hit up some parking garages or something.
I actually have
that's some of the most fun stuff. I don't go down hills or parking garages very frequently, but man, like if there's an adrenaline rush, it's going really fucking fast on a damn like a piece of plywood, and you're just like, well, if I face plant while going like 30 miles an hour, this is gonna be a gnarly freaking road burn.
See, okay. Now, do you remember? It was. I think it might have been introduced in the '90s. It was a kind of like a. I mean, it might have been 2000s too. I'm not sure. What was it? Dirt boarding, mountain boarding, or whatever.
Mountain boarding. Yeah,
you have a massive
like
skateboard with
giant
rugged wheels. You're strapped into it, and they
felt like a weird version of snowboarding.
It's like if snowboarding and skateboarding had a love child.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, snowboarding, like I said, like for me,
once the snow caps melt, the snowboarders are gonna have to transition into something,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
that might be it.
Maybe this is something I gotta pick up, dude. Next time, like when it starts snowing, like just go snowboarding or something, right?
Oh, snowboarding!
But I don't know what it is about it. Like that fear of the skateboard. It's like when I smack my, like it's still instilled in your brain. It's like
you got like
a
PTSD as a kid.
Yeah, and that was a big thing. Like, and it's weird for me because you think, oh, well, this dude drives quads and everything else, but like, it's just completely different.
Yeah, it is different. You're on a machine, the machine is more in control than you are, in a sense.
Yeah, and that's again for me. I don't know. I mean, people think it's weird. They're like, how can you do that, but you don't skateboard or snowboard or anything? Like, it feels different, right? Like, it's a different point of view from being on something to something that's so small that you have to like literally balance your whole body on, right?
Yeah.
What did you skate? All right, I had to ask this. As a
fellow
skateboarder,
street.
No. What was the brand?
Oh, Flip.
Here we go. Yellow brand. This is what separates the men from the mice.
Yeah,
I still have the build downstairs. I did a kickflip down in the basement to christen the house, and then I'm hanging it up on the wall because I'm done. I'm old.
Yeah. My first pro board was a Habitat. It was a Carry Getz board.
Okay.
Then I don't remember, but like the majority of what I would normally get were either Flip or it was Zero. I liked Zero probably and Flip the most because they were like the gnarly, I'm going to throw myself down these giant gaps and stair sets and just hope I survive type things.
Right.
That was the kind of stuff that I aspired to do.
They had good riding sponsors. I'm not going to lie. I always loved watching them. Like Wolf Money Cup, all that. That was great.
So I had a question. The name Zero Maverick. How did that name even come about? Like you mentioned Zero
Mega Man.
Mega Man.
No, it's Mega Man X because Zero is one of the main characters and the Mavericks were the bad guys. And Zero is my favorite character in Mega Man.
Okay, so it all came from the Mega Man series.
It spawned from Mega Man, yes.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. Like when you mentioned Zero, I'm like, when you talk about the skateboard, I'm like, did it come originally from skateboarding? Like what made you use that name? Like what was your first thought?
I mean, he did ride Zero board, so I thought
right. Yeah, I'm like, well, what made you come up with that name as a content creator, right? Like, did you have any other names in mind that you were thinking of besides?
I mean, when I came up with Zero Maverick, I was in junior high. I wasn't thinking of content creation. I was trying to think of the best thing for my fucking AOL Instant Messenger username.
I went through so much.
I love how it went from like a junior year of school, right, till now, right? That's just insane. Like that's always I was always curious about that. I never did it.
But I will tell you
it may have been elementary school.
Right.
I will tell you this though. I got rid of what was my second to last board. All the other beginning boards I can't remember. I used to skate at Element because I was a big Van Margera fan. I was a fanboy. Yeah. big to the Jackass scene, and he had Element decks, so that's what I always ran. And then we had this little skateboard shop. We're kind of closing up, and I got a good deal on this Paul Rodriguez Plan B deck. It was green and black, and then the Plan B itself was a metallic silver, so it had like a kind of cool little look to it, right? Well, that board was cursed. It damn near chopped my fucking thumb off. I went early to the skate park, and I didn't wipe off the ramps, and I went to hit the kicker. Oh, it wasn't a kicker; it was a quarter pipe. And I went up. I went to kind of kiss the top a little bit, go back down, but I slipped, and I instinctively I caught myself on the lip, board went up, and then went right back down on my thumb, and yeah, crushed it. So sold that board to my buddy.
I don't know how you got hurt so much versus the shit that I did. I threw myself down stair sets. I skated rails.
Yeah,
like exactly. I didn't do like huge handrails, but like I skated rails that went down some stairs and stuff like that.
The biggest stair set I hit was a 10. I was able to land a kickflip off a 10 set, and that was my holy grail. Didn't bust my shit on that. It's either hitting a rock, slip. I see most of them are from my hands. I've actually just broke a lot of fingers, broke the elbow, crushed the thumb. Yeah, and then the foot. Yeah, my foot got fucked up too. But that wasn't really from skate.
No, those damn ass rocks.
Yeah, some damn.
Do you ever watch that YouTube video? That little kid that was like rolling around on a skateboard, and he hits a rock, and he it's like, it's these damn ass rocks, and he's like tried to curse to be like cool or something.
That was me.
Yeah, should we pee on it?
Should you pee on it? I don't know. Should you? Probably wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's Joey Sean and I were thinking about, but like, yeah, there was some kid that was like skateboarding, and apparently he like tripped and fell and he landed on his face. And it's like he was blaming on a little pebble.
Well, you know what? Those pebbles are serious, okay? Yeah. The last time I went on a longboard trip, a pebble got me. I'm scarred, actually, for life because of that. My knee is pretty scraped.
Right.
Palms definitely healed up quite well, but yeah, no. There's nothing like a smooth road, but then one rock will ruin your day.
Oh, yeah. I have a scar.
It doesn't even have to be that big.
Sean actually has a scar.
Yeah, I have. Well, I guess. Yeah, I still have a scar on my wrist from like elementary school. Whenever I fell trying to board slide a rail. Oh, you can't see it. It's so fucking. It's pretty much faded away. But like, if you really pay attention and like you look up close to it, you can still see it. It's sort of funny. Like these things that we do back in elementary school, you can still see the repercussions of it. I guess.
Like I still got a scar from the Wii.
You got a scar from playing the Wii?
Yeah, you know. All right, I wasn't fully paying attention, and it was a heated tennis match. All right, like
okay,
we're serving it back and forth. We're just serving it back and forth. Well, the damn remote like slipped out of my hand, and I didn't have the strap on. No pun intended. But I kind of flew myself forward because it was going right for the TV. And in doing so,
no.
My fist went through their TV instead. And yeah, it shredded my hand. I mean, there's like that's actually right there. That one was just exposed knuckle from just.
I was gonna say like the Wii, like the original Wii back then. Dude, there should have been like way more.
Yeah.
Dude, before the games boot up, it's like, yo, dog, strap this shit to your hand, please, for the love of God.
Yeah,
that's what it says.
I know. I did not heed the warning, and it was a fair warning too.
Yeah, even like the it was serious boxing thing with the Wii, dude. Like, oh god, dude. Like the first Wii, dude. I literally wish, and in all honesty, like they specified more about that whole like, oh, that better be tight, right? Because when you're sitting there like throwing the fist at the whole boxing event, right? Or you're bowling, right? And you don't have the thing strapped all the way down, and the controller's gonna like fly. And I still remember that when I broke my buddy's Wii remote, and he was like so pissed. I just remember like I didn't have it strapped all the way down, right? And
imagine my friend's parents, whose This random kid just comes in and punches the TV. Like, who does
Yeah,
this?
I know. It was
Who's the TV puncher? And it was a new TV. They
Fuck
just
this
got it.
TV, man.
They had
TV is
just got
talking
it.
shit.
It was Black Friday. They just picked it up. They don't give you returns on Black Friday deals anyways.
And it's always thought it was funny though. Like,
That was their 72-inch plasma TV.
like you remember those? You remember the Wii days, Sean? With like the whole boxing thing they had, or like the golf, or like the bowling. I think they had. Yeah, they had.
I think that was like, I don't know. That was
Yeah.
the best thing about the Wii.
Yeah, the
Excuse me.
first time they made
Was
the device.
they gave you the game. They kind of had a failing market because they gave you the best game with the console. There was no reason to get any other game for the Wii.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe.
Wii Sports.
I think there could be an argument made for that.
I mean, well, yeah. There definitely can be. I mean, they did have.
I mean, the Wii itself played GameCube games, so an argument would also end up being, and it also took a GameCube controller.
Yeah, it did.
So even if you wanted a GameCube, but you couldn't find a GameCube, and you could get a Wii,
right,
it's your next best bet, really.
I don't know. Call me biased because I just never thoroughly like enjoyed the Wii other than the Wii Sports. But my GameCube, however, hands down, I can't say hands down really because it's a tough fight. See, it's either PlayStation 2 or GameCube for me, and it's really hard to kind of like even pick which one I would put as number one. No matter what, they deserve it. Like one of them is number one and number two in consoles in my book. And console generations, that was my favorite time. There were so many games, and yeah, there's a lot of bad games, but not as bad as what we have now with half-ass released games,
right?
Early access.
I think we started on like
early access.
Early access. This is what we live in. Like at least back then, we
sell
had
you a half-ass
games.
game. Yeah, but they at least warn you. They're like, it's early access. So, and the problem is everyone's just impatient. That's why they'd rather go in and do it. Game developers realize that the impatient people will be willing to pay for the game, and then they could let millions of people playtest for them, and then they get paid. Like they literally, they should be paying us to playtest, but we're fucking dumb enough to buy the game and playtest for them. Exactly. That's what early access is.
We're fucking dumb enough to buy into it, and it's like, look, there is 2 games I thoroughly play that are early access titles. Like I truly, honestly play a decent amount of. I have good like. Steam just has to remind me of how many hours I play these 2. But it's Satisfactory and Rust. Both are early access. Rust has been out since
Rust is
2013.
Rust is like
still early access.
2013, 2014. Yeah,
Satisfactory, that's 2017-ish, 2018.
Yeah. Tarkov
is still early access. Tarkov is fairly newer. I think that's 2019, 2018.
That's still just
I would say. And actually, I bought into Tarkov. I bought one of their highest packages actually, and I do not play the game. I thoroughly liked it at the beginning, and I just suck at it.
You telling me, dude? I downloaded freaking Valorant, right? I suck at that game, man. I'm horrible. I admit that all day. Like I'm so used to Halo.
It's like being old now. When I suck at a game, I'm just like, it's stupid. Right. Back when I was a kid playing a game and I sucked at it, I just kept going. I'm like, cause I ain't got another choice.
Right. Well,
I just spent my allowance on this damn thing. I gotta play it.
Well, see, I don't know if you were big into Halo when you were younger. That was like the main FPS that I played.
Dude,
right?
I played Halo so much that my freaking high school tried to pin drug charges on me because I legit didn't sleep. I went to school with bloodshot eyes. And I was a zombie, and they're like, he's on drugs.
I remember
it was awful.
Halo 4 was the last major Halo I was thoroughly into.
Yeah, it was. I like the music, like the soundtracks.
I was in midnight release. I won the GameStop countdown clock for the cutout. Yeah, the huge Master Chief one. I stupidly traded that for some dumb shit. And I really wish now being a homeowner, I really wish I had that thing. Perfect for the man cave.
Right.
But no, Halo was great. We both actually tried playing it recently on the Master Chief collection.
Yeah.
We suck at it. We sucked
I got
that
fucking
too.
shot at so many times, dude. I was just like, bruh, like what happened? You know, like I used to be the king at it. And
Well,
it's
it's the same. Like, okay, so Zach here and Sean, obviously, they play Mario a lot. I tried to play. I'll try to play Mario Kart, and I ain't hitting the fucking shortcuts. I'll tell you that. He's like, I always miss, and then I turn up. I'm ass behind now. Like I'm trailing behind, eating everybody's fumes, and I don't know. Mario games are hard. They were hard. That was one series that me and you would always like. You know, there was a lot of co-op on the Nintendo 64, and you always kick my ass. You would carry me so hard through every Mario game.
I don't know. Like, so when I
Actually,
first
Paper Mario, I was decent. I was good at Paper Mario, but that's kind of a different sort of style of Mario.
right, it definitely was, and I enjoyed it like thoroughly throughout the whole like Mario series. Um, it was weird. I don't know. I mean, like when I first started like streaming back in the day, like I always used to play it so much even beforehand. Um, Honestly, I'm not as godly as Zero is at Mario.
No, seriously. Look,
I do
if
not
you
like Paper Mario or Mario
No,
RPG.
our
main-
in general, just in general. Like,
our
they're
main
not
our main
bad.
fans of the show, our friends that are here, obviously know Zero Maverick, but anybody who is new, please check him out on TikTok. Check out his YouTube. Um, yeah, you will see the madness that is Sean. I swear, he's a madman.
So
He's not
here's-
wearing a damn Magic Card fucking button up for nothing.
Yeah, and he's also got these cute shirts here too with Rory, his kitty cat.
Yep.
Like Sean
Yeah,
obviously see. I'm pretty sure everybody's in the chat has seen it.
We'll do some free shilling for you.
Yeah, like if you guys haven't, like he's got really adorable merchandise, so you should definitely check it out.
See, maybe he'll send me maybe he'll send me a shirt so then I can advertise a shirt for zero schmeckles. Because I got zero schmeckles.
Right. So I guess my biggest question, right, when we were talking about it, Zero, what made you get into speed running Mario? Like, what made you even like the franchise in general? Like, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people and a lot
I
of
think
like,
a good question
viewers.
you'd ask: why did that one stick?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I'm ADHD, so
right.
it's hard for me to keep on to one thing for a whole entire year. Or
Yeah, or
even
years
like a
on
new
end.
release comes through, game I'll play halfway through, or I'll beat it, and I'll be like, all right, next one.
Right. So my biggest question though, Zero, and then take it away, like what made this game stick to you? Like what to start from the root of it, like what even caused you in the first place to want to play this, to want to continue to
For
rage yourself
thousands
to the
and
point of
thousands and
insanity.
thousands of hours. Yeah.
Yes,
I've
like,
heard,
I don't know.
I've tuned in a few times on the streams. And I get frustrated. I get thoroughly frustrated for you, Sean.
Yeah, and like my biggest question, and I want you to tell like viewers and everybody in general, like what you yourself, right? Like you have pushed this thing to the limit. So start from the beginning. Like take everybody back to when like you first started playing. Like what hooked you
So what's the
onto it
first
to
time you picked up a
where
Mario
you're
game?
at now with it? It's like so beyond our spent, right? Like, countless hours. Like take us back and you take it away. Like we all want to hear it.
Well, I think the first time I played a Super Nintendo or Super Mario World in general, probably when I was like 5 years old. I remember playing the game. I vaguely remember playing against Bowser. I don't know if I got to Bowser, maybe my sister got to Bowser or whatever. But what I do remember specifically is a neighbor coming over and beating Bowser for me because I mean, I couldn't. I was like 5 years old. I was over there like picking my nose and crying because Bowser kept freaking slapping me. Um, that was
Yeah,
my
Bowser
last.
slaps. Slap.
How say what?
Bowser does slap a little bit, don't he?
He
Oh
really
yeah,
does.
yeah, just a
He
smidge.
definitely does.
And I don't remember anything much other than like trying to emulate it after that. And then roughly around 2014, 2015, I was watching some Super Mario World on Twitch and I didn't know what speedrunning was. And I was watching some guy named Ordrius do it. And I was like, oh, this looks fun. And like at the time, I was living alone and I had like no better shit to do other than like work and go home and I had free time. So I was like, huh.
Yeah, that's
I
one
mean,
thing us
I
plebs
like
don't
video
have is
games.
that leisure. We don't. That's the one thing we're missing is that leisure time that we really need.
Yeah, like I had spare time and I was like, well, I'll see if I can get good at Mario and I can make that one guy proud that had to beat Bowser for me. Which I have no clue where the fuck that guy is. I don't really
I
I
don't know who that guy is. I like how it takes.
I don't know where he's at.
He's like,
But
you
like,
just took it and ran
I'm
with it. Now
probably
it's
better
your
than
own
he is
thing.
at Mario now, would be my guess.
The Zero makes a
But,
valid point though. Like it takes like
I haven't seen
somebody to
anyone
watch
better.
somebody, right?
Honestly, I don't know. I can almost say I personally know Sean at this point. Um, kind of, sort of, but on that note, like, yeah, I don't think I know anybody who's better at Mario. Not even you, Zach. Even though you're fucking good at it. But
I'm not nowhere near. Like I remember the days when I first started streaming.
you rage at
Zero.
Fall Guys. You rage at Fall Guys, and I can only imagine if you're trying to play some Kaizo.
Bro, yeah, I'm gonna break my controller 100%. I don't even care. Anybody can
My
text it there, like
controller.
they know how I am. Like there's just so much patience I got. But it's just cool though. Like it took like somebody like Zero or Sean, as you guys know. We'll just stick with Sean, so we're not like switching it back and forth. Um, to just watch somebody else, right? To just see how they're doing it, to perfect any single detail into that, like the dedication, the
That's
commitment to that.
motivation
It's
for
like
me. I mean, look. When you watch someone who's good at their craft, it's it's pretty inspiring, actually.
yeah,
Like, oh shit, look what they created. Look what this one person can do,
right.
And yeah, you want to aspire to be at least that good in something, right?
No, 100%. And that's again.
I will tell you though, there was one game I was really good at, Guitar Hero. Back when Guitar Hero first came out, I learned that game so quick. I learned it through a friend though, because I didn't have we played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh card games. Yeah, big nerd here. Um, that was like our thing, trading cards, collecting them, and then we would just build decks nonstop and try to beat each other for just shits and gigs, that kind of pride thing. And you know, we're we're talking like we're 10. I think I was about 10 years old, like about 9, 10. Yeah, I was really heavy into the card, like the card game, and I had a whole group of my schoolmates that we were into. I mean, it got to the point where teachers started confiscating our cards because we were too busy trying to trade and do deals in the middle of class. But yeah, no, I come over to his house. We're getting ready to do a little card like a card day. He's like, "Hey, my mom just got me this new game. Right? His PlayStation's all hooked up. He's got a guitar controller. Right? I see this guitar controller. I'm like, what the hell is that? All right. He's like, yeah, it's Guitar Hero. Just came out. So we plug it in and kind of start strumming along, playing. You get to know it's like, oh, okay. Well, like we just kept going back and forth, and by the end of the day, all of us were able to beat every song on medium, and we could play a few of the songs on hard mode. I go home and I couldn't stop talking about it. It was summertime, so I was standing at my grandma's, and then I was like, you know what, Grandma, Grandma, I got what? The Guitar Hero. Oh my God! This is new games. As a grandmother, as grandparent, right? You're like, well, hold on, what? What is this? You already have all these games. Isn't that enough? Like, no, no. You don't know what this was. Like Guitar Hero kind of I feel like that was it just it was a different concept. I I was
I mean, it
so
spawned games like Rocksmith, so people can actually learn guitar.
right. It
Which
was kind of
it's a
like
really interesting thing, really.
it was great. It was a new concept, and it was like I feel like that was like the birth of like rhythm game almost. To me, anyways.
Right.
I mean,
And
there's like DDR and stuff like that before it, but it was a birth of its own type of rhythm game, I'd say.
right, and they even spawned a lot of competition. You had Rock Band, DJ Hero, which was Activision's anyway, so they were competing with themselves. But I convinced my grandmother by the next day to go pick me up Guitar Hero. And mind you, I think it was like $80 to $100 for the whole kit.
It roughly, yeah.
For brand new in the box, Guitar Hero with the controller was about $100. And as a kid, I didn't understand how much that was.
All right.
I was a little hooligan. I mean, so yeah, I didn't know the value of $1, but she loved me so much that she got that game. I swear to God, I spent the whole summer playing.
Yeah,
nonstop.
Only
by the end of that summer I played, I was able to beat every song on Expert, and it even continued from there. They came out with the second one. Awesome. That was, I think it was Guitar Hero 2 where I met the ultimate goal. Which one had Through the Fire and Flames?
That was 3.
Was that Guitar Hero 3?
That was
3. I beat
Yeah,
it
that
on
was the
Expert.
only song I never beat. I never beat that on Expert. I beat it on hard. That was about as it went.
I beat that on hard with the regular controller. I was so good.
Nice.
The regular controller, I beat Through the Fire and Flames on hard. That was just one. I spent thousands of hours of my childhood playing Guitar Hero, and like, you were there.
Yeah.
I mean, I got you really good. I even trained you, coached you in the game because I wanted someone to be like playing. I wanted someone to be able to play against or like be involved with the game, keep me going. So I mean, you were really good too.
I mean, yeah, to an extent. I mean, just depending on certain songs.
But remember, I had to put the cheat codes in for hyperspeed just to have a challenge, and I still got through the Fire and Flames up to times 3 or 4 on hyperspeed cheat mode, and yeah, it was insane. It was just insane. Although a couple of years ago, I did have the chance to pick up the guitar again. I was at a friend's house and doing some adult partying, drinking and whatnot. I was like, "Oh, you got Guitar Hero? Bust it out!" Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit back in the day.
Yeah. Who's back daddy? Instantly threw it on Expert. Yep. I just threw a random song on. It wasn't like nothing too gnarly.
Right. Yeah,
I failed it within 10 seconds because my old fingers couldn't keep up. My old little fingers could not keep up. Like, my mind knows what notes to hit, but my fingers weren't following suit. And then they cramped up too.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me.
But I do have 2 guitar controllers still. I'm still working on maybe possibly getting into some Clone Hero. Who knows? Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to get it hooked up.
But following back to like the Super Mario thing, right? Like,
goddamn Super Mario.
Zero. Sean's a guy at it. Hands down, Sean's good at it. And I'm just like, I'm curious, like what about that game? Right? Setting aside from our experiences, like, what about that game just it drives you? What drives you to put yourself through that?
Yeah. I think the end goal. I guess the end goal.
Well, he kind of already talked about that.
Yeah, like it feels good.
That was the skateboarding analogy. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the skateboarding thing.
Because he said,
it's a little different.
You envision the finish line,
right?
Yeah. Really, it's just it's like it's the finish line. It's the feeling of almost smashing your TV, your controller, all of that.
Okay, so have you ever actually
broke a controller?
Yeah. In all honesty, have you ever actually
enraged in a fit of rage
just thrown that bitch to the ground? You're like, fucking bastard!
I've yeeted controllers for sure. There's a video on my Twitch of me I screwed up during the speed run back in like 2016, and I just chunked that freaking controller at my TV, and it just like explodes, and then my eyes are all like, "Oh my god!"
Did you do that? It's like when you're a kid and you just break your own toys because you're mad. You're mad you're not getting your way, so you break your own things, thinking that your parents are going to care. And then the only person who really pays is you in the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
It's like,
pretty much.
No, and then you're just fucking bawling your eyes out even more. You're just more angry because you broke your own thing and they don't care. Like, it didn't get the reaction I wanted.
Didn't even believe that.
It's kind of how I got a lot of my video games. Not gonna lie. Parent manipulation, being a kid was fucking great.
Yeah, being young and having responsibilities, it's just like, bro. And then like we're older now, and it's Like, bro, it's honestly like I wish you could just revert back time. Like, if there's like a time machine, like it would just be kind of nice to go back and be like, I don't want responsibilities today. Let's get out of here with it.
You know what? Well, we're gonna live vicariously through video games. That's what we do.
Yeah, I mean that's not.
We're at least blessed to be in that.
Mario's
time, right?
nostalgic. And here's another fun fact. I really haven't beaten any other Mario games other than Super Mario World and Odyssey. Never beat Mario 64.
There it is.
Never beat Mario 1. Never beat Mario 2. Lost levels along those lines. Never beat Mario 3. I'm fucking off.
Okay, well, here's a big question.
I rage quit.
Zach, you beat all those. Yeah. How does that actually make you feel a little bit inside?
I think like out of all the three, the original, like and two,
we can't do what you can do though.
And here's a fun fact because like Zero being a Super Mario speedrunner, right? Super Mario World was actually known as Super Mario Brothers 4. Never knew that. Did not know that.
Yes, yeah. In Japan, it's known as that, and I think actually. It may say that on the cartridge itself. Either it says that on the cartridge itself, or it actually has like a small marking that says that when the game first turns on at the title menu. I have the cartridge somewhere. Yeah,
I never knew that. That's weird, right? Well, I gotta go break the seal. So, all right, yeah, you guys. I gotta break the seal.
I haven't, like you go do.
Yeah, I will. I want to do my business,
Mr. Zach. Oh, thank you, DaLew Crush. We appreciate that. Yeah, and anybody who's hanging out, if you want to throw a like or if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, it is much appreciated. Helps with the algorithm a little bit. But yeah, so I'm
not sure where
how can those original games really piss you off that much compared to what you play now? I mean, Kaizo, come on. I don't think I could pass the first. The first level.
There's a difference. To me, there's a difference because of the physics. There's like a huge change right here. Here's my SMW cartridges, but like the physics just pisses me off. Right. Yeah. See, so actually,
hold on. So I'm gonna zoom you in, right? And we're gonna and I want you to show us what you got there. Show us the goods.
So, Super Mario World cartridge. This is the Japanese version, and it actually says right here, Super Mario Bros. 4. Sorry.
No shit.
It's really hard to see it. It's very, very hard to see it because of how it is. But if you just Google it, you'd probably be able to see a good image on like whatever comes up there.
Now. How I'm guessing that's rare, at least rare in America, right? I know they were mass produced. But think of how many went into a landfill. How many there's like kids with their slobber blowing into it, corroding the cartridges. We all did it. We all fucking did it. How many survived, right?
Yeah, I got this cartridge specifically from an anime convention, I think. Or a retro gaming convention, some form of convention. Okay. The thing to note is that a lot of games that you get, if they're going to be Japanese, they will actually be cheaper. So the games like Mega Man X specifically, it's pretty easy to find that. But then when it comes to like X2 and X3, those were actually released like a little bit later along the lifespan of the Super Nintendo itself. So what that also means is it was released later in the United States. But there were more that were actually produced in Japan versus the ones that were actually produced here, like for North America and whatnot. So if you're ever trying to just like play a game and you want the actual cartridge, Mega Man X2 and Mega Man X3, those are both like $100+. I think X3 is like 300 something. It's almost as expensive as Earthbound and those kind of games like that.
Well, see,
you can get it for like $20 to $30 if you're.
Well, that's what hurts.
I have no idea what they're saying.
Well, like as a collector, you strive for authentic, but sometimes we might have to pirate a little bit.
I mean, if you want to emulate too, yeah.
Like I said, that's if you want to getting some handheld emulators myself because honestly, they've gone a long way, and they're pretty fucking cool. But like, I go to my local. my local plane trade, or it's like a CD, it's called CD Exchange, and it's a really cool joint. But they reflect market prices, and like an original Emerald cartridge is hundreds of dollars. It's ridiculous. It is insane. I had multiples of those, and I really wish I had my main safe because that was another game I literally spent way too much time on, and that was Pokemon Emerald. I had my save had 4,783 hours. I was almost complete with the the battle league, or whatever it was at the end. I didn't get. I think you were supposed to get like all gold symbols from them in order to. I was working on trying to get to the moon or the Deoxys to get Deoxys because the internet wasn't very prevalent back then, so it was kind of hard. You kind of ran off rumors, and you would hope that these guides on the internet were right. So, I was trying to launch that damn rocket. I can't remember them. I cannot remember for the life of me. Drugs are bad, okay? But like, we had so many days stacked on that. I was trying to beat that battle league, and that was hard. That was a hard freaking game. And that was one of the last Pokemon games I thoroughly got into. I didn't transition into the Nintendo DS at all. But damn it, I love me some classic Pokemon. And I think that's like the only reason I would really go back with Nintendo for them emulators.
So
go ahead, Sean.
Hold on. I was gonna say, since Zach's here, let me show you guys a picture of the cartridge here. I can use OBS virtual thing here. My camera's gonna turn off momentarily, but I just need to change it to OBS virtual camera. And this is the Japanese cartridge itself, and you'll notice where it says Super Mario Brothers 4. Right next to Super, it literally shows the number 4. That's literally only that's only in Japan. That is only the
zoom
Japanese
this in for
cartridge,
everybody.
to my knowledge.
And here we go. That is
weird.
Yeah.
This is what we're looking at here. Don't mind the logos. I'm not layering it. I am horrible with this editing. But yeah, there you go. See it. It says Super Mario 4 right there. I can certainly see the 4.
Yeah, I did not know that was
so. All right, let's.
And it does not say that in the North American version. Not at all.
Well, not only that. 1 second here, folks. I'm slow on the draw.
Do you want me to turn it back? Were you done?
Yeah, we're done. We're done. If you want to go back to your chat, so everybody can see your wonderful face.
I'm half Japanese. Can't confirm.
He can confirm.
Okay, so
there he
speaking of like transitions, all right. Now, hear me out, Sean, because you speedrun, right? You're a content creator. You thoroughly enjoy Super Mario World and obviously Odyssey now. Will there ever be a fact in your life, at any point in your life, where you ever tried to attempt to speedrun like the older style Mario's, like how you met me from SMD1 or Super Mario World, right? Is there any chance at all down the road that you'd ever try out other Mario games?
I don't like the physics of the other Mario games. I feel like the other games, like the physics are just poop. And I'm going to say that in the nicest way possible. I mean it like in the worst way possible.
I've actually read that in the speedrunning community. They do complain about the physics.
Yeah, the physics of the original Super Mario games were fucking awful. Super Mario World, it was like this good mix of like floaty, somewhat slow and jumping. Mario doesn't feel like he's like 1,000 pounds overweight. He's on ice. Cough, cough, Mario Maker, cough, cough, which is why I hate Mario Maker so much, because it literally is just like that.
You would never like ever consider like trying to speedrun another Mario game. I'd rather be like
other than Odyssey, or maybe a 3D game. Like the physics to me are everything in a platformer.
Right, and that is important. What about that Super Mario 3D Land? Or
I've never played it. I couldn't tell you. Like it was only
trying that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, maybe 4 months ago was the first time I really ever tried playing Sunshine. And what was really funny was that So I need to get back to playing Sunshine because people keep asking me, when are you going to play Sunshine? When are you going to play Sunshine? But there's one part specifically where you apparently have to find a giant fucking melon. This giant melon, and you have to like push it all the way back through like this thing. And this one guy was like, this is gonna take you hours. Then like this took me like 5 hours, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm in for the long haul. And I did it in like 10 minutes. And the guy was like, what the actual fuck? Are you human? I'm just like, I guess I'm good with fruit. I don't know. I'm like,
you're gifted at that. I did play Mario Sunshine. I did beat it once. I almost got all the shine sprites, and that's a very good game. Like Mario Sunshine itself, and I'm not sure. Sean, would you ever consider like you being a Super Mario World speedrunner yourself? Would you ever consider trying to
he doesn't
run
like it.
Sunshine?
Sunshine maybe, but I feel like with Odyssey out, I feel like Odyssey is just like even better than Sunshine. I feel like whenever the devs created Odyssey, they almost had speedrunning like in mind with how Mario can roll faster, how you can sort of like do a bunch of you can link a bunch of weird movements together to make Mario bounce higher, bounce off of the cap. And like lately, actually, I have a modded Switch, and I've been playing through ROM hacks of Odyssey specifically, and they require you to do like more advanced cappy tricks and stuff like that to be able to go through and grab a lot of the moons. And there, it was only recently where there's one where you have to make Mario spin, then you have to jump and ground pound really quickly and do like some other weird crap to be able to go just high enough to be able to reach a moon. And it's like you would have never known that like a lot of that shit's ever even possible unless you would have ever tried playing like a fan created Odyssey game, basically, because that kind of stuff Nintendo doesn't make it obvious, but there are so many mechanics put into these games that 99% of people are never even gonna fucking know about. And I mean, some of the mechanics end up being glitches, like even Super Mario World. If you're flying with Mario, right, like you tap left, hold Y the entire time, get into a constant flight. If you actually grab onto something like a vine or like one of the fences, if you actually hit jump again, you'll keep flying. Like 99% of people don't know that. And a lot of that stuff, and if you fly with Mario, you can actually tap, what is it? The B button? No, not the B button.
I was gonna say this.
It would be the equivalent of. Hold on. It would be the equivalent of the Y button for the Xbox. If you tap that, you'll actually change the direction of Mario. It's gonna be completely random, but Mario can actually change his direction if you tap that button, and that's something 99% of people just don't know.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I was gonna talk about in terms of fly button, dude. Like, cause I see a lot of people using like when you're flying in a certain direction, they're using like down left. I know some people just press left.
Press left.
I don't press down. It's literally left and right.
Okay, I've noticed it in my time. Like, I see a lot of people, and I don't know why that's even like a thing. Like, it's been a while since I sped run. Obviously, you know that on Super Mario. I don't know why people do that. That's weird. Like, I mean, obviously, it's just one button, you know, to continuously fly through. I feel like it's the motion that they feel like
it's literally a rhythm. That's all it is. It's making sure you hold Y and then you tap. You tap the opposite direction of what Mario's going. So for Mario, 99% of the time in Mario, Mario's going to be going to the right. So you would be holding Y and then you'd be tapping left in a rhythm. And if at any point you let go of Y, then Mario's going to like spin out of the cape and you're going to lose it. And if you don't time it right, you're going to notice Mario's sort of going to just like hold his cape and just sort of like slowly glide down. You have to watch Mario as he sort of starts like to angle, tap it, and it pulls him back up. He starts to go down, tap it, and he gets pulled back up.
There you go. Learning lessons with Sean over here. Yeah. Now look, hold on, Zach. I'm gonna cut you off here because look, we haven't talked about. You keep talking about speed running, and I know you were a particular speedrunner of a particular game, and you haven't spilled any beans whatsoever during this whole show. And what was that game that you decided that you were gonna speed run? And I remember this game quite well because I didn't I couldn't play these kinds of games. I was more of a watcher of the game. I was the creep.
Okay, so
because yeah,
I know. I'm always a little interested in like Sean's speedrun. Like, okay, so myself personally, yeah, I used to speedrun as a D1 and Super Mario to try to do the best I could at it. But I guess the game particularly that always pulled me off was it's Resident Evil. And that was like ultra hype. That was like the blockbuster of the 90s. Like you've seen it everywhere. You've seen it like on TV, movies, books, whatever. I was just always into that. I was always into the shoot 'em up zombies thing, like House of the Dead that you've seen at like the movie theaters when you're younger.
The zombie genre.
Yes, the zombie genre was something that I got into, and like I just remember when I was a kid, like, and I had it for the 64. I was just blessed with it on the 64. And obviously, like PlayStation 1 and 64 versions are entirely different in terms of modes and outfits and content in general. It just like separates the two because the 64 can only pull off so much versus like the PlayStation. But I think what got me into that, like how Sean was explaining how he got into Mario, was just it being as hyped as it was, as being as amazing as it was, the story, the challenges to it, the battle modes, everything else, and fast forwarding to
battle modes. What do you mean battle?
Yeah, so they have like battle modes. Like you remember, like Resident Evil 4, how you had that mode where you had to survive and get points and see how much points you could get at the end.
Look,
of it.
Man, I was traumatized. You made me. This motherfucker made me play Resident Evil 4. He knew how much I hated playing Resident Evil games. He made me play Resident Evil 4. And yeah, I beat it. It was a nightmare. I don't know what it was, man. I only wanted the Chicago typewriter. This is the only way I felt comfortable. But the problem is you have to beat the game to get the damn machine gun with the unlimited ammo. Right? Yeah. No. The game was fucking scary.
Well, and I think there's a way with like that whole game, like the puzzles, right? Like even on Super Mario World, where Sean has to do puzzles in the games, right? Like that's how Mario is. But I think like the puzzles in Resident Evil were a little bit more complex, right? Like you only had
kind of like we were like
we had to do the water puzzle. Yeah, like on Resident Evil 3, we had to solve the water puzzle. It was like a Tetris based kind of thing, right? It was interesting, and it always made me want to just do it as fast as I could. I'm like, brother, there has to be a solution to avoid all this, right?
Natural competition.
Yeah.
Why does anybody speedrun? I want the best time.
Yeah, 100%. And it's literally how it is. Like, you want to strive to be the best of the best. So, Sean's mentioned.
Or at least show people, hey, look what I can do. I'm moving really fast. And then...
And it's weird, too, because
you got the game developers, their minds are blown, right? Because you're over here skipping shit. You're breaking their game and beating it.
And again, it stems off of what Sean had mentioned, like watching somebody else do it, like doing it so quickly, and it just blows your mind away. It's like, dude, I want to do that. Like, I want to try to give it a shot. So, like, for me, my biggest inspiration at the time was Carcinogen, and he still plays it to this day.
I haven't heard that name in a long time, but yeah.
Yes, yeah, he's still around. He's still around. I remember I watched him back on the Xbox 360 days when Twitch started. It just like recently had started, and I love and respect him. He's supported me a lot, even when I was nothing at the time. To when he started noticing that I was in the top 5 of the world, like he really took a lot of count and noticed me. It's because of my personality, because I'm goofy, because I rage, whatever. But watching him, seeing that, then me attempting it, just made me want to keep going. It made me want to thrive for better time. It made me want to figure out like what I'm doing wrong, to pushing forward to realizing the mistake I made beforehand. Like, oh no, I don't want to get bit by the zombie, right? Or no, I don't want to get hit by a boss a certain way. You're seeing someone else do it, and then you trying to push yourself to be better than that person. I guess it could be in terms of competitive, whatever.
That's what Guitar Hero was for me.
Yes, yeah. And
I think I can confidently say out of my friend group, I was probably the best.
Yeah, you always want to push to be better, right? It's a prideful thing, and you always want to fight for your pride.
You don't have to be an ass about it, but no.
100%.
On the inside, it feels really good. An accomplished thing, and that was like what a lot of those games that we grew up with really helped us feel. like accomplished beating them. We don't really have that richness, that depth now, because I mean, you do with like a lot of Souls like games, and that's still one genre that really envelops how hard games were, and even platformers too. Platformers
That
and
game is
Souls
gonna
like
cause Souls
like
games are gonna cause a lot of fucking people that are gonna really get into BDSM because they're just gonna love pain.
yeah, and in
That
those kind of
that's what
games,
Souls is.
well, that's why we're all fucked up. Okay, I'm pushing 30, I'm not quite there yet, but you know, he's 30. We're up there. Okay,
Well, you got
we're
to remind me of my
90s.
freaking age.
I mean,
come
look,
on.
we love, you know, we're from the 90s. Okay,
I know.
and we grew up in, I feel like, the golden age of video games. You know, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Sticking to it. I don't care.
That's why we have issues.
Well, then the '90s, you
I
got
don't
to
have an
see
issue
the
with
actual
anybody with that.
original.
I'm just telling you, the 90s is the best. It was the best fucking era for video games. And you know what? I'm gonna
I mean, you literally got to see video games grow up whenever you were born in the '90s. You may not have got to see like the beginning of video games, but you came in specifically as like when video games were actually sort of starting to get like into the consumer's hands. Like it was actually Nintendo is the only fucking reason we still have video games. Like there are a lot of people that don't like Nintendo. They shit talk Nintendo. But if it was not for the Nintendo Entertainment System and for the SNES specifically, I don't know what we'd be doing right now. I'm not entirely sure we'd be playing video games. And then it's interesting how we like video games. These video games are being put onto the computers. They're being put onto your phones. Like all of this random shit. Like think about what possibly could have happened if Nintendo would have just said, nah, never mind. This shit isn't gonna work. We're gonna just stick with making playing cards because that's what Nintendo originally was.
Exactly.
They did
in
playing
the late
cards.
80s. It was the late it was 1890s
trading cards.
Something yes, that wasn't trading cards. It was like it was like card games.
Yes, it was playing cards, not trading cards. It was playing cards.
Never heard of that. Yep. So I guess like we experienced a prime time of this.
Prime time. And Nintendo also made god awful movies too. They made a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean,
but you know,
don't remind me of the last Mario movie.
And we do have a lot. We do have some people in the chat who are a little bit who are throwing out. You know, they're trying to represent the '80s. Never said nothing wrong with the '80s. I just never lived in it. And that was my issue. I got to experience the Dreamcast, Sega, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64. Why would I play the Atari?
Because Atari's, okay, so
I tried. I honestly tried. Duck Hunt.
You got to witness Sega go down in flames.
And
Atari was like, you think like Pong, right? Like Pac-Man.
But look, I got down on Pong. Yes. Love me some Pong.
I mean, there's even Pong on like
but
the
look, I'm not
Windows 98 based computers
because the 80s they started it. That was like that was that spark, that ember. Look, we can get video game, we can get home, we can get the arcade in your living room. Yes, y'all are sexy old hags and we love it. Keep at it. Keep at it.
I just say
go. Let's go, sexy old hags.
I remember playing Atari though. It was always weird though. Like, and then people that grew up.
I tried. I mean, I tried with that, but how can you beat the aforementioned list?
Yeah,
that they were golden, you know.
Yeah, but you gotta think that started the evolution of gaming itself, right?
Now late '90s. Now look, early 2000s is gonna be a whole nother thing. You got so much shit for that because PlayStation 2. The birth of the digital age. You know, we got CD-ROMs, but look,
instead of analog type stuff,
instead of analog.
The CD-ROM games we had, like beanies and all that, like like I said, like, and I'm gonna end my statement here. Like, I think, like myself personally, like the '80s started that peak, right? And like the '90s was its prime. That's when everything started. Just like they threw it all on the table, basically. They're just like, "Oh, dude, we gotta try something," you It's like a gamble.
And
that's cool to see that transformation
from the energy that people put in the commercials back then too.
Yeah, I know, right?
You ever just run through a 90s commercial? It's just flashy lights, high energy, in your face. Like, it's either what the product is or you don't. And it still works.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said,
dramatic. Like now we got like boring shit.
Well, like, nowadays
even cars are boring now. Remember the fun colors. All I see is white, gray, fucking black. I love those colors, but
what's your opinion on this, Sean? Like, what do you think nowadays versus like the modern design of vehicles versus how they were back then?
Of vehicles?
Even
I
just
could care less
even in
about.
General. Like even in general, right? Like what do you think?
Well, I feel like probably back then things were more created to last, I guess, and now things are like they're created even more in mass production and less
not necessarily that. I think we're talking. I would prefer
like, what do
more
you mean?
on like design, creative design. So I feel like like there was just wacky stuff. We had the fun wacky shit. No one's trying to go out of the box anymore.
Nintendo are the only ones. Dude, the Wii U was ahead of its time. I will stick up for that shit. And even the Wii itself was pretty ahead of its time.
I thought the Wii was ahead of its time. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna go even farther. I thought the GameCube was a little ahead of its time because it was supposed to be designed as a portable console that you can bring to your friend's house.
Yeah, and that was gonna be the only thing.
Controllers. You plug in 4 controllers. I had the Wi-Fi module.
Xbox
I had the Game Boy player. I had everything. I had all the. You remember my Game Boy player on that thing?
Yeah,
that's how I transferred.
I have the Game Boy player.
I had like the Pokemon Stadium. I had to transfer this, that, and the other, all the way through all these different generations, and I got them. I even got them into my Emerald version.
Right,
that's fair.
I think 1,000 hours.
But you gotta think though too. But like at the time too, like even the Xbox or like the PlayStation. Well, you gotta have them all.
I didn't like that marketing. Nintendo, like no, that's Pokemon. Game Freak. Game Freak's fucking design. Their consumer design pisses me off.
You always go down there and like bitch slap.
You can't 100% anything because it was exclusive shit. So we gotta cheat.
Yeah,
it's not fair. And Nintendo, please re-release shit cheap.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to pay $60 for something that
like I'm sure someone would pay probably $1 for the fucking
we don't want to have to
event
raise that fucking black flag every time we want to play something that we really loved growing up.
So question for you for that Celebi event you brought up. You guys know for the gold and silver thing. Did you ever get a Celebi when you played
Dreamcast, Trevor? Yes. I unfortunately did not get to enjoy the Dreamcast. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
That was a thing.
I never actually did it. No,
I didn't either. And that was the thing. Like I was so like, it was broadly limited, right? And I recently discovered that some years back about Celebi being at that shrine, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that was after the second badge.
I forget what the forest is, but yeah, it's relatively early on.
Isn't there an insane? Recently I've seen a few videos. I don't know if they're the joke videos that were like back in the day. You got to do some stupid, ridiculous like series of things in order to activate a glitch. But I've seen a few videos pop up recently that were like, you can get Mew this way. Because there was always the truck. That truck
that was by the SSN.
That was actually not a thing. That was just a hoax.
Yeah,
but
that was a hoax.
There's an actual glitch that you can do to get Mew. Or I can't remember what.
It's
I can't remember what edition, but you can get like a level 130 some fucking Nidoking right off rip before you fight Brock, and then he's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I mean, that legitimately, there's some ways that
I don't know if that's true or not, but it makes me really want to go download. I have to download. I'm not gonna go buy the original because I'm not gonna shell out that money.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to do my thing and try to find the original and emulate this series of events because I'm intrigued.
I mean, it's gonna be easier to emulate. I mean, even when you emulate, you have a built-in Game Genie. And
Right.
since Nintendo gave you the middle
And
finger
I'm not
of
gonna lie, that's
yeah.
very tempting. I don't like
Yeah.
it being there because I'm going to be tempted to use it. Don't.
And I mean
That's
that
the one
it
thing
is
about them.
what it is how it is. I mean, especially when if all you wanted was a fucking Celebi and you weren't fucking alive at the time to get a damn
I
Celebi.
know.
Like, how else are you gonna
Because
get Celebi?
I
Game
had
Genie.
I had my Game Boy. I have one currently that I'm working on modding. I have the guts of my Game Boy Advance. I'm putting in a new case, doing a L- LED LCD mod or whatever, the IPS grade or whatever. Now it's gonna take some money, but I want to get back to playing me some good old. What generation was that? What actual generation was that? Was
What Jennifer
Fire?
Celebi?
No, Ruby,
No, that was
Sapphire, and
Oh, that's Gen 3.
So
That was
Game
Gen
Boy
3.
Advance to be Sapphire, Emerald, and Ruby.
Yeah.
yep. Because I want to get.
That was the last Pokemon that I played.
That was the last one I thoroughly played.
Yeah.
I want to get back into it, and I would like to try to find some of these glitches because
Oh, I know. Like, a lot of that shit, like, I didn't even realize that either. You know, like, like that whole recently discovered Mew glitch when I actually had Mew in the game. And here's the thing, too, with, like, Mew, like, it was like, you couldn't figure it out back on Pokemon Stadium days. And I did not realize that it was on Pokemon Stadium. And same with Mewtwo. Like, you had to legitimately beat the Pika Cup, which was doing all those crazy battles. And, like, don't even get me started on the AI of that, right? Like, I feel like the developers at the time did not really care to fix a lot of the issues it had. Because I remember when I played it, right? And how the hell are you going to hit fucking Drill Horn successfully? Right? 3 fucking times back to back to
when you
back.
see people play now, right?
Well, let's say
They play how we should have played. And they get all serious. There's a whole competitive scene.
Right.
There's like a thing called stall and other tactics in the competitive Pokemon League now. So
Right.
it's completely different than it was back in the day. That's okay. But like we always didn't use moves like light screen and other um uh physical enhancing abilities. We'd just use like I would just always have like 4 attack moves. I don't care. Like I'm just gonna use these. They're strong, and I still managed. But in the end, I kind of started to not because I was forced to beat that damn Battle League or whatever. Yeah, I think it was Battle League. I want to say, yeah. Go ahead and look that up.
That Pika Cup. But did you ever play Pokemon Stadium, Sean? Like growing
I
up?
guarantee you, Sean's played. He's not even. He's not at the chair.
Sean's actually taking a break.
He's taking a quick break. That's all right.
Sorry,
But look,
I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, I played Stadium. I have Stadium 1 and 2.
what are you gonna say?
Have you ever fully beat those? I mean, just
No, not at all.
okay. So did you know on
I never have, but I still transferred everything from 1 and 2 all the way to that GameCube, all the way to that Emerald. Thank you very much. It was dedication.
but it's like
And I never cheated, but I still never got that Deoxys. I never got that Celebi.
Deoxys? That's like a later, isn't it? Later.
Very late. Deoxys is like
You're
Deoxys on. I don't think Deoxys is on N64.
no. On my Emerald, on Pokemon Emerald.
Oh, okay.
There is way to fight Deoxys. You have to go to the moon. I never.
I don't know much about Emerald.
I'm holding on to the childhood, and I never actually looked at the official way to do it. But that was the rumor back then, and I'm holding to it. I'm still gonna believe that was the rumor because I spent so much time trying to chase it. But that's what happens. Like that was also the fun part back then is we didn't have that instant knowledge in our pocket. We can't
Yeah,
summon. You can't
internet. You
summon
had
good
to buy a
techies.
walkthrough from Walmart.
Exactly. A walkthrough. You got to buy a guidebook, and them guidebooks were thick.
Oh yeah, they were too. I literally wish like all the guidebooks I had.
Resident Evil 2, where they introduced Nemesis. The guidebook for that was insane.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
yeah, it was.
I would say, yeah, a good 2 to 3 inches thick. You could definitely knock out a wombat with that.
Yeah, you throw that bitch in a fucking vehicle, dude. I think it's gonna stop. like a Nokia phone, right?
Yeah, no,
But it's some
text destruction. You know.
But yeah. So speaking of which, though, on Pokemon Stadium, though, Sean, you realize did you realize that you can unlock Mewtwo?
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
100% with you. I
Yes.
didn't. I played it. I have
Yeah.
the two, but I never put that much time and effort into it because
Okay.
I mean I enjoyed the battling side of Pokemon, but I also
Yeah.
I enjoyed the like casual running around and collecting things more. And as a kid, I don't think that I ever saw that in the games. So I sort of
Yeah.
just like I didn't put much time and effort into it.
Yeah. So the stadium, right? When you first load up the game, right, and you're at that main screen with like everything you can choose from, whether it be like the lab, the dual event, the Game Boy, the gym leader castle. Yeah. Apparently, if you were to beat the stadium on all four of those cups, I remember the cups. I don't remember how far I got into unless I actually loaded up my actual cartridge from it. But yeah, apparently after you beat that, you verse Mewtwo. And the whole background changes after you successfully defeat him. Did not
Oh,
know
that's
that.
cool.
Did not know that. That is,
Hmm.
again, this is a lot of different things that I'm finding out about this game. Pokemon Stadium 2, I don't know. I mean, it does follow suit from 1, but obviously it's Gen 2.
Was that Lugia DX Gale of Darkness? Or was
Yeah,
That's
that
game.
Pokemon Galaxy.
Yep, that was
Yep.
that was another one I played. I didn't ever
Yeah.
thoroughly completed
Yeah,
one or
nice.
two of Stadium, but Gale of Darkness I did beat, and I
That game
needed that.
costs a
That
lot.
one, that Gale of Darkness was the key to getting my Stadium's Pokemon over there. Because there
But
was a
that's for
link
Coliseum, right?
Bruh.
Coliseum. There was a link cable that you can use
Holy shit.
for the cartridge to the GameCube. Some shit.
Bro, okay, so
I don't remember how I did it or why I was needed.
Huh.
I just sort of vaguely remember as a child I needed to beat these and use this game and then this game, transfer this over here, and damn it, they made me run through some ringers.
dude, how the hell? Okay, so I was looking up Gala Darkness prices, dude. How the hell is it $5,000 for that? Like that's fucking.
You're not. No one.
There's
See, that's just one of those inflated prices.
yeah, that's
That's
insane,
inflated.
dude.
That's
It's
it.
probably more around 100.
It's more around 250.
Right, I was gonna say,
You
like,
think
how the hell?
250?
There's multiple
Yeah,
sites saying 239, 270, 280.
yeah. There's a lot,
And there's
of
only one on eBay for $5,000. So it's actually plus $200 for that game. That is insane.
That's fair. The Pokemon games have went up in price drastically, and
It
that's
hurts my
something I
soul.
actually
It
Heart
just hurts.
Silver, or is it Soul Silver and
yeah,
Heart
Soul
Gold?
Silver. Yeah,
Those two games, both I got those right before those skyrocketed. I
No, they
think I paid maybe
skyrocketed.
$30, and then now I think they're like. Last time I checked, they were probably around $70 to $80, but that was a few years ago. They're probably higher than that now. And a fun fact,
And it honestly depresses me about that because those, damn it, I really want to support Nintendo, but you motherfuckers aren't remaking your shit.
right. Well, I
yeah.
mean, they have with Fire Red and stuff, but like, it was kind of cool the content they did create from like the original
I have
gen.
I have a 3DS Pokemon Black. That is the only Pokemon game I currently own at all because I bought
Pokemon
a 3DS.
X and Y. Oh man.
What?
I'm sorry, I was gonna say Pokemon X and Y for the 3DS. Those are so good.
I just
X and
have the
Y
first
was
one. It's the
so
first one. I
fucking
haven't beat it yet. I think I'm about to restart it and try again, but like it's fun. It's challenging. I like it. But mind you, Emerald was the last one. I tried to get into Diamond and Pearl. Couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't the
yeah, I
same when
think
they added the 3D. When they did the 3D, it wasn't the same. I literally liked the 2.5, 2.25 dimension they did, sort of thing, isometric
yeah,
style.
you like the black and white. That like black and white was okay. But X and Y was so good. And there's even a part where I feel like the game devs were trying to be like funny. It was also sort of fucked up in the same way. After you get a Pokeflute to wake up Snorlax, there's like somewhat of a romantic cutscene that happens where you end up watching fireworks with like some random girl, and one of the adults walks up behind you and he's like, you start talking, and then of course, Pokemon, they're all about like giving you things to help you progress through it, and I think one was a TM, and he legit
Which
gives
game
you
was this?
protection.
Hold on. Which Pokemon game was
It's
this?
X and Y. It's X and Y.
Excellent.
It
Okay,
was
I've
the
never
first
played.
3D game that came out for
This is a
3DS.
spoiler. This is a spoiler to me, but that's fine because it'll give me something to
Okay,
work
well,
for.
I
But
mean,
continue.
it's fine. It's silly. The game came out in like 2015. That's like trying to say Snape kills Voldemort. Like or Dumbledore, whatever. Like it was so long ago. But literally, an adult comes up behind you while you're watching fireworks with a person of the opposite sex, gives you protection. Protection the TM.
Okay.
It said Pokemon XY. Like it's sort of hilarious, and I didn't notice that when I my first playthrough till I saw a
So
meme.
they're playing on the gender DNA roles. Yeah.
Is it a bad thing? I don't know these legendaries, dude. Like looking at these newer Pokemon, nothing about them. None.
Yeah. So my 3D, it's Pokemon Black. I just have Pokemon Black.
I'm looking at these X and Ys, right? And I don't really. I do not keep up to date anymore. Like after like Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, quit. I'm like, dude, there's just too much going on.
Well, see, my transition from the Pokemon games was actually Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time on Call of Duty for some reason.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, like we're not putting any we're not gonna put you guys in any warning labels. There is gonna be spoilers of any kind. So
Right. That's
just the fun part of this podcast. Yeah, see, there's Pokemon White version for $30, but I got Pokemon Black. I got the Pokemon Black version.
Yeah, I mean,
and I haven't beat it yet. So it's $35. No, it's white. Where's I have the authentic black one.
Well, that one's black and white. That's a set from
Japan. I don't know. Maybe I'll get one of the. Do they make 3DS Mega cartridges, Mega Drive cartridges? Sean.
Sort of. Sort of, yeah. You don't get them from. It's not like an Everdrive type thing. I forget what they're called, but
do they have one that you can just slide a little micro
like
SD into?
It's basically like a built-in homebrew, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for something that's just plug and play
really
like a Game Shark
to
used
homebrew.
to be.
You can homebrew with 3DS really easily.
Okay.
So easily. I would almost suggest just doing that.
I might have you. Yeah, you know what? I might have to have you show me that because that would be kind of fun to do. Is just homebrew that thing so I can get all the other games I want to play.
That would be.
Although there was a website that does those handheld Android based emulators.
Yeah. Do you have a Switch?
I do. Yeah, I have a Switch Lite.
You have a Switch Lite? Okay.
Yeah.
If you get a Switch, I would almost suggest you get a Switch and then mod the Switch. The Switch is even easier to homebrew. You get a bigger screen, and you can also plug it into a dock. Dude, I was straight up playing this, it's basically a ripoff of Diablo. But I was playing a ripoff of Diablo with the Switch in Android mode plugged into the dock of the Switch on my TV, and I was just, chilling. It's pretty fun, and it's cool to just have Android on my TV. You can even my PlayStation right here. There's an app called Remote Play. I can play Elden Ring on my Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
Through Remote Play. So it technically streams the game to your Switch. So there's gonna be a few frames of lag, but it's very, very minimal. Unless you're a speedrunner,
that's another. That is one modern ambition that I'm not mad about. I don't have an issue with it. Is these stream your games to something kind of thing going on? What was it? I think Google had something going on for a little bit. It did fail.
Google Stadia.
Yeah, the Stadia.
Yeah, I read that.
It was very ambitious.
That's crazy.
I feel I feel it would be more fit for if, say, you have a pretty decent, if you have a console, current generation console, or you have a desktop, or even a laptop, for PC, console, just current generation, decent hardware.
But didn't Soldier
if you could,
you're speaking of consoles. I remember that.
He did make a console.
I was like, did that fucking thing fail?
That's a whole rabbit hole we can get into.
I know. Anyways, going on the subject you're talking about. I'm sorry. Soldier Boy.
No, Soldier Boy's console.
I didn't remember that.
I think you made me actually forget what I was talking about. That's horrible.
You forget? No, you were talking about the Switch and everything, and
the damn Switch. What about the Switch?
We were just talking about it. I was just looking up when you said something about console.
Well, you know what? When you throw out Soldier Boy like that, he just disturbs the whole room.
Well, you know what? I mean, and that's the thing. Like, you think, like, when you say specific words, right? Like, it just kind of, like, absorbs in your brain. You start thinking a little bit more, and you're like, oh, yeah, consoles. I remember Soldier Boy had a console. That thing didn't even do good. Like, how long did that even last? A week?
I don't understand. I don't understand why someone would even want to.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of cheap ass people like.
Are you talking about the Soldier Boy console?
The Soldier Boy console.
Do you remember that back like some years ago?
Does anybody?
Dude, yeah, I remember.
Anybody even own one?
Dude, the dumbass was like, "Bring it, Nintendo," and then when fucking Nintendo brought it, he fucking cowered, dude. He's like, and then just like hid underneath his bed. Like, Nintendo is so fucking crazy with their IP, their intellectual property. I'm surprised ROM hacks haven't been taken down yet. Honestly, like,
I know
they are very, very aggressive.
I think there's some good people working for them that are that might have them by the balls a little bit, might have some dirt on them. But look,
there's even the funny
community alive. They're preserving it. You greedy fucks. But I have your dirty little secrets. I don't know. Not blaming anybody. I'm not trying to throw any dirt, start any rumors. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Epstein was a thing. Just saying. So, like, people have power, right? Nintendo's got power. Nintendo is scary. It's so scary that they've convinced you to buy a $60 game that they made 20 years ago.
I was reading an article about Soldier Boy. No, you're right, 100% right. You're 100%.
I get it. But the fact that a lot of these places do allow, like, the ROM hacks, I mean, I'm glad. But that's game preservation, and that's important. ROMs are very important.
100%.
It makes me really want to go through all the generations to get, like, a modded PlayStation 1, 2. I have already got a PlayStation 3. It's not modded. I've got two PlayStation 3s,
just get an original PS3.
I have
an original PS. I mean, if you have the one that plays 1, 2, and 3, you're set.
Well, I have the original fat one, and then I have the slim one.
The George Foreman grill, as the cool kids call it. Yeah. It literally looks like a George Foreman grill.
Yep, I have one of those. I refurbished both of them.
Ping pong balls.
Dude, this fucker is heavy.
This thing is
I have that so goddamn heavy.
Why are you
like
although actually no,
if I wanted to work out, I could like bench press it.
I was supposed to repair it, and he was an asshat. So I've kind of commandeered it a little bit.
I'm still looking at this.
But you know what? Oh well.
Bro,
tough titties. You shouldn't be an asshat. So what you get? You lose your PlayStation 3. That'll be an asshat.
I was literally looking at this, right? Like, because I forgot.
I prefer the word douche canoe.
Yeah,
dude. Douche canoe.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we're all people. Don't forget
that. Like, because we're still like, you guys have me.
You can be an asshole, but don't be like that kind of asshole. I'm not gonna say it.
You had me so delved into Soldier Boy. Like, I forgot he made the handheld console, and then he made this stupid fucking.
Well, look, the handhelds. A lot of the handheld consoles weren't bad. I deeply do want to dive into those a little bit. But
should we buy a Soldier Boy console?
How much is a Soldier Boy console?
Like Soldier Boy, tell him. $199.
$200.
Yeah, but
what does it
Are they
play?
still being sold though?
yeah,
That's the
Are they,
question.
can you still buy a brand new Soldier Boy
well,
console?
let me find out. It's called the TRDR Handheld Game Console, the
No,
Soldier Game brand.
That's the handheld.
Right. Well, this one's called Unboxing Soldier Boy's new 2021 game console. So let me see. He calls it the SOD money, stacks on deck.
Stacks on deck system.
Bruh, like what the hell? What the actual hell, dude? Is that like
No,
really?
what does it play?
I'm assuming it plays everything.
What?
Like looking at it, right?
It
You see
looks like it
Pokemon
has.
Emerald on there.
Oh my!
It's like
Oh my God! It's
it's
just
like an emulator
Android.
thing. Yeah, it's just
The
like
guy
Android
fucking is
based
probably okay. This guy is probably a fucking Apple fan, and he had never heard of fucking Android before in his entire life. And he went and talked to someone that knows shit about computers, and he was like,
Yep.
"Yeah, you want Android so you can just fucking jailbreak it." This legit looks like it's running Lineage OS, which is the same shit that's on my hacked Nintendo Switch for Android. Like what
Yeah.
this is what it looks like.
It's-
It literally looks like it's running Lineage OS.
it
I
definitely is.
no
Hey, you
fucking
know what?
joke.
I'm gonna give him credit. At least he tried.
Yeah, but it was horrible.
I wouldn't
Like,
say he's very.
did you just go in there thinking, right? Like, did you just go in there thinking,
But-
bro, Nintendo ain't gonna do shit to
But
me.
look, the issue that we got is what's not relevant is a lot of the good shit that we used to have, and I really wish that was a big thing that was in these companies' minds, in their business ideas. It's just let's get back to the roots, you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. You gotta be delving into fucking Soldier Boy. Yeah, he's still relevant though. Somehow, I don't know how. He's
Still relevant somewhere.
But anyhow,
Although I guess that's good for kind of maybe wrapping it up here.
yeah, I know. We got so wrapped up into it. It's like,
You know that's what I love about a good podcast. You know, you get a good rant in, you let people know how you feel.
definitely is. And
Well, I have one last thing. I was actually looking at
Oh,
his I was looking at the website for the
Yeah.
TRDR Pocket. It says life-changing AI, the world's smallest AI available on a fucking handheld. This is the
Wait,
fucking
so-
handheld, you
so on
dumbass. It's a
his-
fucking
so-
phone. This is
Bro.
smaller than that dumb little fucking wannabe Game Boy the guy has, and it's literally Android. It's nothing new.
I don't know. I just
Well,
thought it was
Soldier
funny.
Boy's
Like,
a
how,
fucking con artist.
I just thought it was funny. Like, he tried to milk that for every penny. It didn't even matter. People,
Oh.
and then people are still silly
Con
enough to
artist.
buy it, right? And that goes with anything. Like that'd be like Belle Delphine, Logan Paul, whoever. It's just, I think it's kind of silly that he's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna create something, everyone's gonna love it, and it didn't even last a week. I thought that was like pretty hilarious. By all means, hilarious, right?
Well, like it's what 90s is about. It's 30 years away. We're still talking about it today.
Right.
And damn it, we'll let it go.
It's crazy.
I'm not gonna let it go.
No, I can't. But it's funny thinking back. It's just, we get so into that whole conversation with it. Like, yeah, but the '90s for sure, like, was definitely at its prime. It definitely was. By all means, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I wouldn't do that ever. And I'm not saying the '80s weren't bad. I mean, that just literally started the evolution of its peak, right? And then it's pretty much went up from that point. But no, Sean, like, I appreciate you being on here tonight, man.
Yeah,
Like,
Sean, thank you.
thanks so
Zero
much.
Maverick, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it. We hope to see you on quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we make this maybe like a sort of regular thing. Everybody loves you.
Sure.
You're
Sounds good to me.
fucking who? You know, keep this guy in check.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, and guys, if you haven't,
Otherwise, he's like, I'm the Super Mario master over here. No.
well, maybe
No,
one day, maybe one day, maybe
Kaizo,
one day,
buddy.
maybe
Kaizo,
one day
try.
I'll eventually get good at that ghost house jump that I always mess up on at the ghost wheel. But no, if you
I
guys
think it was
haven't,
fluid, fun enough.
yeah, well, is that what it's called, the ghost wheel?
No,
Like
it's called a boo ring.
Oh, boomerang. Silly.
A boo ring.
Boo ring.
Because the
Oh,
boos are the
ring.
ghosts, and they're in
Yeah.
like a ring.
That's even better. That's even better. Genius.
Yes, but if you guys haven't though, like, please go show Sean or Zero Maverick some love.
Check him out.
It's in the description below, and super appreciate you all tuning in, watching this podcast. Super appreciate it. Much more to come in the future. Yeah, Sean, you got anything you got to say to anybody?
Yeah. I had a great time.
I don't know.
Right.
Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be a fucking asshole.
Kids, don't be an asshole. Just be excellent, like Ted and what Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yeah, just be
Bill
excellent.
and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah. Like if you guys haven't though, go show Zero love. Like if you guys want, it'll be in the description. Sean, we definitely appreciate you being here. Seriously, much love to that. And
anybody still lingering? Go a like.
Yeah, go show them some love.
If you haven't already, share it. Help the algorithm go along. But thank you for hanging out. We do appreciate it.
Definitely got to pee too.
Yeah, you know what?
I always got to pee at the end of it. You go. I feel like I'm holding that fucker.
You use the damn bathroom.
I will.
We're out of here. We're out of here. Enjoy some music by DaLew.